Guys, we gotta talk about the AFC, man. A lot of content creators have come out this week talking about their thoughts about the game, calling out the game, and rightly so. We deserve so much more and so much better as a community, and for years, not just this year, but for years, we have not received that. Many of you guys that have been regulars on this channel for months, for years now, you'll know my thoughts on this game. Obviously we're making this video now. I stand in solidarity with all the rest of content creators coming out, speaking about this game, because something needs to be done with this game. It really, really does. The AFC has been by far the worst FIFA ever released. I could have made a video like this last year. I could have made a video like this in 22. 22 and 23 were definitely not as bad as this year. There's been a direction in the last couple of years where this game has just been going downhill bit by bit. And then, as I say, this year, it just takes the absolute piss, man. It's been great to finally see, the big creators coming out, the likes of Nick on the Foot Market. I personally really, really enjoy his content, and he's coming out as one of the bigger FIFA creators, speaking out about this, and then obviously it's kind of had that effect on a lot of other people, including myself, that, big and small creators that have come out and now are speaking about this game, taking a stand against this game. We can't force every creator to do it. Every creator won't do it. But I know for one that, as I say, in my own personal experience with this game, I've played FIFA since 2012, and Ultimate Team I've played since FIFA 14. Obviously, Nick putting his tweet out, putting his video out earlier in the week, it's kind of led other people then, obviously, to put their own videos out and give their own thoughts on this game this year, and that's obviously what I'm doing here tonight as well. But, yeah, I think it's great that he's come out as the first person. I really like Nick's content. He's a respected member of the FIFA community, so yeah, really glad he's taking a stand. And as I say, for one, I've felt this game has been falling off year by year for the last 3-4 years, and especially this year being the worst of those 4 years by far. And I'm so glad to finally make a video with this. We're going to be kind of putting it into sections today. There's a lot to talk about, as you boys know. But for me, as I say, it's important I make this video, boys. And later on in the video, I've asked you boys to get a lot of comments in on my community tab, which a lot of you boys have done already. So I will be responding to those later in the video, because I think, for me, this old channel, we've built it on FIFA. And whilst this channel, whilst I'm not sitting at 100,000 subscribers, 200,000 subscribers, we're sitting here with a hardcore community with about 6,500 people. And every week on the channel, if I count streaming views, whilst also counting, old video views, like, for example, my Ultimate Team Starter Guide this year on the AFC, usually gets about 300 to 400 views every week now as well. So it's still picking up views from all the new players that because the AFC became free to play last week, didn't it? So, yeah, if I look at my channel analytics, I'm technically promoting this game, obviously promoting in the loosest, I use that term in the loosest possible sense, because obviously if you boys know, if you've watched the channel for a while, I do not promote this game by any means in terms of what I say about it. I am firmly against it. Obviously, in terms of actually putting it on a YouTube live stream, on a video, and people watching it, that in that sense, as I say, it is technically promoting it. And this channel every week, when counting streaming views, video views, from current and old videos and stuff as well, alongside current and old streams, it's putting the game out to maybe between 5,000 and 15,000 people every week. So that's why for me it's important to make this video, give my own thoughts on this game, and try and, with other creators, make this stand, man. Because whether, it's a 500 subscriber creator, whether it's a 500,000 subscriber creator, and obviously I find myself in the middle of that, well, we've got a bit, a decently sized audience in this channel. Important that I put this video out, and give my thoughts. So, we deserve so much better as a community, boys. Ultimately, a mix of greed, incompetency, and complacency. There are the three words that I'm going to structure this video around today. Greed, incompetency, and complacency. There are the three. And for me, I'll go into depth in these in today's video. There are the three terms, and you can use many, many others. You could write a whole book, a whole list on this game, on this company. But there are the three things for me we're going to delve into today. And those things have just led to the downfall of this game this year. Incompetency seems to be quite a good place to start. I mean, you look at the mistake the other night, that's one of many mistakes. The other night, obviously, Friday night, some people play their foot champs on Friday night. Many don't, because it's considered quite difficult. Some people did play on Friday night, and there was a high percentage chance that you were going to get yourself either a red Mbele or a red Mbappe for playing on Friday night. So, for the likes of myself, who didn't play on Friday night, I'm not at a disadvantage. By the time I got round to opening my red picks for League 1 foot champs, they were obviously back to normal with the bad pack weight. One of the many, many incompetent mistakes this company has made this year. Messi player pick comes to mind, but a 60% chance back then when everyone got the Messi from their player picks. We also had the Evo cards. Some of them are glitched up to 99 rated, which makes the whole, not only is that like such well ahead of its time in terms of the meta of the game and the power curve, it obviously makes some other cards unusable, because if you have like a centre mid, a Dopo, for example, at 99 rated, you're not going to be interested in some of the other cards that haven't even been released yet, like even some of the TOTS cards. So it does kill the hype on some of those cards in that sense. Yet again, there a few days ago, Icon Player Pick, I think it was released around 6 a.m. UK time, early morning, and there was problems with it, issues with it, and it had to be removed from the game as well. So released and then removed. Just more and more issues, man. You could write a book on it. There's no point me sitting here getting into all the different ins and outs of everything, boys, because, you know, I know it all, and all you boys know it all. We're all well aware of all the issues this game has got, and has got, and there's going to be probably a lot more to come, unfortunately for us. But it's always the incompetency with EA. That's why it's one of the key words in this video today. Because EA drop an SBC, a pack SBC with the wrong description, then they have to remove it. Or there's a glitch with the pack where the pack weight's too high, they have to remove it. Just constant things like that over and over again. And all these issues are bad enough. Then we get to the next point. Communication. Communication from EA is absolutely atrocious. We're constantly, as a community, as consumers of this game, we're constantly left in the dark so many times. You know, very rarely EA apologize and come out and say anything. And even when they do, it's often delayed. So, like, you know, something happens at content time, a mistake, EA will come out like 2 to 3 hours later and try and clear them, you know, cover their tracks and clear themselves up. Yeah, so many times the communication's awful, you know. It really, really is. You know, when something happens, we really are left wondering what's going to happen. Is there going to be compensation for that? Where does this leave the game, etc., etc. And yeah, it's just, as I say, it's bad enough having all these mistakes over and over again, and that shows incompetency because they just don't learn from the mistakes. They never seem to do that. But equally, when they do make these mistakes, the communication with the community, you know, they just don't care. You know, they don't care what we think of them. They don't care if we're left frustrated and annoyed. They just simply don't care. Ultimately, it comes down to greed and their income, which we're going to get onto later in this video. But yeah, communication's another big thing, man. And I think it's often, a lot of people forget about it as well, but I had to include it in this video because, yeah, it's bad enough making mistakes, but the communication level with the community is at an all-time low. And I suppose you can link communication into the fact that with this company, as I've already said, they're just so out of touch with their fan base, with their community. All you gotta do is look at the content some nights, boys. You know, it's nearly a predictable cycle. You know, every Friday we get new promo packs in the store, massive packs, and we're gonna get on to store packs very, very soon, obviously under the greed element of today's video. But yeah, they're just so out of touch. They don't know, they don't take into account what we want to see in a game. And obviously, you know, we're not blinded. We don't expect everything we want as a fan base or as FIFA players. We don't expect that to be out into the game. But they don't listen to anything we say, you know, and they don't even acknowledge it. And yeah, as I say, whether it's outdated SBCs, overpriced SBCs, objectives that just don't really motivate you to play. So many times you see an SBC and it just, you know, it doesn't suit. It just doesn't work. It's an overhyped SBC, overpriced SBC. It's just simply not worth doing. You then look at the reward structure. Geez, don't get me started on the reward structure. I mean, we're gonna get on some of your boys' comments in a bit, but amount of times I'm live and viewers are telling me, Jack, I got 18 to 2 rewards, and I got, you know, 100k back in terms of value back from the packs. And the red picks were awful. Rival rewards and champs rewards especially need a huge revamp. I've been saying that the last couple of years. They need kind of more guarantees for the higher ranked players, because higher ranks are not easy to hit. You know, I'm an average 11 win FUT champ player, but you know, I always feel bad when I'm sitting there getting, you know, a decent player. Not that my luck's been great with red picks or anything this year, but just, you know, in the off chance I do get something good for like 11 wins, yeah, and then you see 18 win players or 20 win players getting shafted. Also this year, I've had 14 wins a couple of times. Those rewards have made less on the 14 win rewards than the 11 and 9 win rewards. It's just, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Revamped structure on rewards is definitely needed. Yet again, they don't need to change it, man. They don't bother changing it. They don't listen to us for it. The content is super predictable. You know, you look at, obviously, you know, you boys know I do the 6 p.m. content streams. And if you're new to the channel, get involved. We're live most nights for the content, but it's very predictable. You know, it really is. I mean, it's you know, Friday night we've got the new promo packs out in the store, big store packs, which we will get onto very, very shortly, in terms of EA's massive greed. But yeah, store packs on Friday night. Some of the cards as well. They're so out of touch with the cards they release. They're most of the time, a lot of them. You know, you look at each promo team. Usually, there's 2 or 3 that maybe take your fancy. Everything else, they're very outdated. And there's been previous cards that are better, that are already in the game. But yeah, New promo on Friday, promo packs, one objective, one player SBC. For Saturday, usually dead content. Sunday, you know, you might get an icon pick or something. Monday, upgrades. Tuesday, usually quite dead. Wednesday, at the minute, obviously it's guaranteed Major League Tots packs. But it's all just a cycle. It's so predictable. So unpredictable obviously leads to boring, because there's no uniqueness, if that's even a word. There's no like differential with the content we get. It's all very same all the time. And this game needs life, and EA are killing it, man. They really, really are. Servers and gameplay, gotta discuss that. I mean, what could be said? Servers, do I need to even say anything? I mean, we're talking about the promos on Friday nights there, especially during Team of the Season, Team of the Year, 2 peak times of the year. How many years have EA done Team of the Year and Team of the Season promos, and they still have experiencing server traffic in their menus and in the store every single year on that first Friday night? And not just the first Friday night. There's a lot of times, you know, on when new promo teams are coming out, that the store and the menus are extremely slow. Servers have always been slow, but you know, they're you know, sometimes you could jump on. I could play Foot Champs on a Saturday. I could play Foot Champs on a Sunday, and both on 2 of those separate days, I could feel different gameplay. I could feel like I'm playing a different game. No joke. It feels like I'm playing, like, 1 minute I'm playing a smooth game that I can play decent football in. The next day I'm playing a really ratty style of play where I'm playing on a really dead server where the ball is taking like 2 extra seconds to make each pass, to make each skill move, to make each run. And yeah, it's just, how can you ever improve and get better at a game whenever you don't know what type of game you're playing each day? You know? Gaming should be fun. That's the fundamental thing, right? And for a lot of us that obviously we don't enjoy it, the game feels like a chore these days. It really, really does. I know I'm not the first person to say that. It's, you know, the servers obviously don't help that, and obviously it's the whole idea around the game as well. If this, you know, not, well, is it a meta? Is it just, you know, the toxicity around the game these days? I remember a few years ago, you know, every video game has things to, you know, exploit to win the game, of course. But it feels like these days there really is a, you know, if you want to hit the high ranks, you got to play a real certain way. Whereas years ago, I didn't feel it was to that extent. I remember, you know, I said this story on my stream the other day. I remember back on the old style of Foot Champs, there was a 40, I think it was back when it was 40 games a week, and I was like a 14 win player usually, like gold 3 I usually went to, and I wanted to try and get myself to elite by the end of the year. And I watched tutorials on YouTube, and I tried to improve the game. And I did improve the game, and I got myself up to the elite level in FIFA. It might have been like FIFA 20 or FIFA 21. It was either for 40 games or 30 games. I can't quite remember, but either way, yeah, pretty much I got myself up like 2 full ranks, maybe like another 5 or 6 wins a weekend on average from what I was originally getting. And I could do that. I could achieve that higher rank because I'd improved the game. But the most important thing was I played the way I wanted to play. Whereas now, I've tried it this year. As I say, I'm an average 11 win player. I've got 14 wins a few times this year, but you have to play. It forces you into a few different styles of play, man. And I don't want to play that game that way. Fundamentally, gaming's meant to be fun for people. It's meant to be a release. It's meant to be something you can enjoy. This game doesn't provide that. You know, I've played other games. I'm sitting playing a few story games right now, and they're giving me a lot more enjoyment than this game is, which is the sad reality, man. Because obviously I'm a big football fan. We all are, and we want this game to be as good as it can be. But yeah, like why when you really deep it, we've talked about the reward structure and how that's very, very unrewarding for certain ranks that you hit, and it's not worth your effort and time. And then when you combine that with what I'm saying now, with all the way the servers are and how inconsistent they are, and then the gameplay side of things and how it forces you to play like a, you know, way you don't want to play essentially to try and achieve the higher ranks that you want, it's just a complete mess. It really is. And the argument there, of course, as well is, why would you really want to play for the higher rewards anymore? Why would you want to play this kind of style? You know, you have to play this style to get the higher wins, but why would you want to play it in a sense? Because ultimately it comes back to the reward structure again, and you're probably going to get shafted in your 18-2 rewards anyway. So it all goes round in circles, man. That's the sad thing about it as well. I think before we move on, I want to say this, before we move on to grade, because there's a lot to talk about in that section of this video for sure. I want to bring up this before we move on to the next section, which was a tweet I seen maybe about 2 weeks ago, and someone tweeted out saying this, pretty much that EA, right? EA, if there's something in the game that is an EA mistake, that is benefiting us as the players, as the player base, they'll be super, super quick to take it out. Alright? If it's something that's a mistake in the game, and that it is not really hurting EA, but it's hurting the player base. So if it's something that's affecting the gameplay quality, or something that's affecting the servers, or the menu's really slow, or there's an issue with an SBC, but it's not an issue like in terms of, like, for example, last night, the 90 plus tots upgrade where the pack animation's not working properly. Things like that ain't directly affecting EA and the money they make. They'll keep it in the game. And that shows their true colours, man. That shows their true colours, because, and I think that tweet sums it up perfectly. You know, I can nearly end the video here. I really, really could. I mean, I think that sums it up perfectly, you know, and it really does show their absolute just shamelessness, really, with this company. Something that affects them. 2 issues, right? 2 issues in the game. For issue number 1, it affects EA's pockets. They are straight in there. They remove it as soon as they can. Number 2, an issue of equal importance, and it's affecting the community and affecting the player base and not giving us a smooth game. They leave it in the game. They don't bother about it. That says it all. It says it all. Let's move on to greed, boys. Yeah, store packs. What can I say? What can we say, man? I mean, it has just got worse and worse and worse. They're an absolute disgrace. They really, really are. Years ago, you know, what do we have? Maybe 125 key packs is our biggest pack. Usually they would only be released during, you know, like big promos and stuff, like lightning rounds and stuff like that there as well. Now we've got up to, I mean, forgive me, boys. I'm losing count here. I think we're, what are we, 750k? Is that what we're at the minute in terms of the biggest store pack? So, you know, I think that's about £60 in terms of the FIFA point value to it. £60 for 1 pack in game, and with the pack rate being as bad as it is as well. It is an absolute disgrace, man. They've just went up and up and up and up, and it's only going to keep going up. It's only going to keep going up because people are still buying the packs. And I'm not sitting here telling people what to do and what not to do. What, you know, buy packs, don't buy packs. At the end of the day, everyone's entitled to spend their money how they like. That's the reality of it. But there is a sad reality too. You know, first of all, you boys know me with FIFA points. I have very, very rarely put any points on this game. Not just the AFC, like FIFA 23, FIFA 22. I'm certainly not one of these creators you boys will see putting on 12k after 12k after 12k points over and over and over again. Definitely not a chance, man. I enjoy the game. Well, maybe not. I came out wrong. I certainly do not enjoy the game. I want to enjoy the game, and I think it'll be slightly more enjoyable, should I say, if I don't put points on, because I want to enjoy the grind of the game element of it. I don't want to have everything just handed to me. The only exception to me putting points on is I put the odd amount on sometimes during TOTS and sometimes during Team of the Year. That's the only times of the year. But even then, it's like a very minimal amount. Like probably no more than £50 together, you know, combined. So like maybe £25 on average spent on Team of the Season and Team of the Year. But even then, I mean, sometimes not even that, because this year, for example, I haven't even put any on during Team of the Season. All I've done during the last couple of weeks during TOTS has been my save packs and share plays on viewer save packs. So no money's been going to EA in that sense. And for me, you boys know on the streams, I put my money back into this community sometimes with gifted memberships. You boys support this channel amazingly, and I want to give, if I'm putting a bit of money back into something from what I earn here, because obviously I'm in a blessed position to do this part-time, this YouTube thing, it's going back to you boys. It's going back to gifted memberships and spreading the love in our community and in the live chat, man. Rather than pumping 12,000 points onto this game, probably getting bad packs anyway. But that's not the point. It's just the actual point of putting the points on. I'm not here for it. I'm definitely not here for it. There's a big issue going around where FIFA points, you know, as I say, there's some people, like, there's real issues. There is real issues around addiction with this game. You know, with point spending, oh my god, man. You know, people put points on, don't get any results, put more points on. It's like any addiction, right? They keep doing it and doing it and doing it, thinking it's going to change the result of it and think they're going to get something finally good. And maybe eventually they will, but they're spending a hell of a lot of money for it, man. And you look at some of these big creators, and, you know, many of them obviously aren't doing it now. But you look at some of them and they still do, and they're putting on a hell of a lot of money, man. And obviously, yes, I get it, it's a business for them and they're putting the money back in. But there's other ways around content creation. You don't have to just constantly keep putting points and points and points on over and over and over again. and giving EA your money when they're not supplying us anything. And this is where it stops at. This is where the buck stops at, because if the EA weren't making all this money, they would have to make change. There's another section we're going to talk about in a second, which I'm calling complacency, which we're going to talk about, and that's why EA still are in the position they are, where they can get away with all this. But before we get on to that, this is the main issue. It's the greed they've got. EA know that they're not a real main challenger for another sports game, and they still know that even with all the issues they've had this year, look at the amount of money they've made from the AFC, even for the fact that people are the game's dead as it is, and people are stop playing it. EA is still making the money from these big creators, some of these big creators, and other people as well. It's not just creators. As I say, there's people that are like addicted to putting points on, and that's a sad reality, because EA are feeding on this. They're preying on people's addictions of spending points and then adding more and more FIFA points on over and over again and making money that way. So as long as people keep putting these points on and people's addictions keep going through, and EA is going to keep feeding on that. They're going to keep earning their money, and in their minds they don't need to bother changing the game and making it better. So that is one of the big problems that we've got right now. It's kind of a standstill, because it's great this week, boys, everything that's come out with this boycott EA, and I am 1,000,000% for it. But the problem is, man, with these people putting 12k after 12k after 12k on, man, EA are earning money and they're laughing at us. They're absolutely laughing at us, man, because there's promo after promo. All you gotta do is look at the cycle of the game this year. Promos pretty much every Friday, whether it's a new promo or whether it's a Team 2 or Team 3 of a promo. And new cards. The game's infiltrated every week with new cards. The same boring cycle over and over and over again. But EA don't care about the same boring cycle, because to them, it's the same money cycle. They keep earning the same money every week from people opening packs, putting more and more points on. So, that's the sad thing, man, with the kind of gambling aspect of it. People of all ages, it's not just, people think whenever I'm talking about, gambling, it's like kids and people, people like that putting money on. It's not, using their mom's credit card. It's not like that. Adults are doing it as well. They're putting more and more money on this game every year. And that's why EA are in a position where they don't need to bother changing anything, because they know, because there's evidence this year. The proof is within this year and previous years, but especially this year, because obviously, as we've mentioned, the store packs are an absolute nightmare. They've done all they have this year with store packs. They've run it. They've tested it. They've seen the response of the community in terms of the amount of packs they're selling in that store every single day. And they know that, well, if they look at it, they're thinking, right, our game, we're making all these mistakes this year, and yes, the community's getting on our back for it, but we don't care about that, because look at all the money we're coming in. People, as much as people are saying all this stuff about the game, there's still a lot of people that are here putting their points on, hard-earned money onto the game for FIFA points, and opening all our store packs. The big 750k ones, the 600k ones, the 500k ones. So they don't need to bother changing, because why would they? They're making the money they want to, and they're doing it with the absolute minimal effort. Complacency kind of links in with this, I guess, as I say, final section of today's video before I get into your boys' comments. I mean, the thing I've said about Free just now is, and there is a lot of people this year have maybe started playing PES and some other sports games, Football Manager as well. And they're good. They are well-made games, and they're good to a certain degree, but they're still not. They've not got the pull and the widespread kind of interest, I guess, that FIFA has, that EA has got with the FIFA franchise that has been developed over the last 10-15 years. There is other football games coming out this year, and people have asked me recently would I jump ship. I mean, all we want ultimately, right, is a game. We're all football fans. We want to have a fun football game to play. That's pretty much as basic as it gets. And yeah, if something came out that was fun to play and enjoyable, and it felt like a game that was the game that the company that runs the game actually cares about, I can see myself playing it and potentially moving ship. Yes, I can. I can see myself playing that, and I think I wouldn't be the only one. I'd say there's a lot of other people, because a lot of us are in the same boat, boys, where we're just football fans, as I say, that want to play a fun and enjoyable football game. Unfortunately, the last 3, 4, 5 years, maybe arguably, but especially the last couple of years, we've just been absolutely disgraced. We've been let down, man. And the complacency aspect of this is obviously, as I said a few minutes ago, EA know they've got that pull. They know the money's coming in, as discussed there, from you know, from some creators that are still putting money on over and over again, and other, you know, anyone really. There's people still out there, you know, YouTubers or not YouTubers. They're putting money onto this game constantly, and their money's always coming in. But the complacency aspect as well is obviously EA have no real threat. They look out there and there's no one else really on the market that have got the same, you know, pull and interest in the game that EA Sports have developed. And as long as that continues, they're going to be sitting at the top of that tree, and they're going to be sitting very, very comfortably, because there's no competitor. There's no competitor. We desperately, as a community, need another football game out there that takes the throne, that knocks EA off their throne, man, because the minute it ain't looking good. And it's, as I say, it's great, all the stuff that's coming out. I'm making this video. You will see, you boys watching this will see, I'm sure, another 100, 200,000 maybe videos on YouTube of creators coming out speaking to their community about the issues with this game, and trying to make a change. But ultimately, you know, I just hope this whole boycott EA thing doesn't end in a week. It's easy for these things to come out, and there's obviously, you know, a lot of focus on it and attention on it and spotlight on it in the first maybe 7 days to 2 weeks maybe. After that, though, I just hope this doesn't die down. But no matter what we all say and do, boys, you know, what can we do going forward until the revenue starts running out? I mean, boycotting the game to a certain extent, you know, will obviously help, because it's not just EA's revenues obviously comes from people playing the game too, because it's like sponsors and stuff as well, and you know, that is a way we can hit them. The one way we can't hit them at the minute, I think, is obviously, you know, they're always going to earn that money from FIFA points, but certain people will obviously still always buy points and more points and more points and more points. But yeah, stopping playing the game, you know, for a considerable amount of time it would do something, you know, because EA obviously are tracking all the game time and the amount of game played by the world, essentially, right? And yeah, they would see their figures drop with a lot of people stopping playing the game, and I know a lot of people have already stopped playing, but actually forcing change in terms of them taking a stand, it's a long journey, man, because they're always going to have that revenue from people putting the points on. As I say, desperately need another football game to come out that takes the reins of EA Sports, man, because at the minute it's looking grim for the future of this game. It really, really is. As I say, I'm making this video now. This is the topic on EAFC, but I could also talk about, whilst FIFA 23 and 22 weren't as bad, there's also some issues in those games, and I wasn't a big fan of either of those games, 22 or 23 either. It just so happens that the AFC is even worse. It just seems to be going down and down and down this game, man, as a franchise, and it's sad, because I know, for one, I grew up playing this game, and I know a lot of you boys are the same. But yeah, they're getting super complacent now. Complacency, incompetency, greed. They're the three, man, for me. They're the three best terms I can say to describe what's hitting this game at the minute and what's really killing it. But yeah, there's just a loop of FIFA points being bought, loop of bad decisions and incompetency. You know, they're getting greedy. They realise they're at the top of the tree. There's no real competitor. There's no threat. They're out there making these big store packs, feeding on people's addictions, preying on people's addictions, and not bothering to make one positive change for this gaming community, man. Right, now that I've got all my say out of the way, let's jump into some of your boys' comments, man, because I know a lot of you boys did get your feedback in. Alright guys, so I put out this post a few nights ago in the community tab, and a lot of you boys have got involved. Give me your responses back, because as I say, this community's built on FIFA. This is what our community's built on, so I want to incorporate your boys' comments, respond to them, react to them in this video as well, and give my thoughts, man. So, start off here with Jan. He says it's just getting worse year by year. The glitches this year and the start of AFC last year has been atrocious. Most players can't even play FUT champs or Div Rivals without a bug ruining it for them. Don't even get me started on the packs. 700k for a pack is insane. As you said, Jack, they might even go as high as 1 million. I did say that in the stream the other day, and that's the way I see it going. Like, it's went up and up and up and up and up. You know, you think back, boys, to whenever the store packs first came out, you know, or the start of the new kind of start for EA in the sense of store packs. Like, what was the first one? Was it a 175k pack maybe, or during Black Friday I think it was, or maybe a 200k pack? I think there was a pack during Black Friday contained like 100 rare gold player items. That was the start of the store packs, I believe, the big ones. And then they had like a 250k pack, then a 300k pack, and it just kept going up and up and up. And I thought whenever they started doing that, I thought, right, there'll come a limit where they'll go maybe like 300, maybe 350k. We're now at 700k. Do you know what I mean? So I have no doubts they'll go down a million. No doubts they'll go down a million, because, you know, why wouldn't they from their point of view, you know? The greedy twats that they are, why wouldn't they go down a mil, you know? Overall, it's been like a 2 out of 10 for most people, and I would recommend people to think about opening expensive packs. For 1 mil, you can get a couple of games, so EA needs to improve their game, or I think it might be an end to one of the best games out there. I agree. Yeah, it's a good comment from Jan there, definitely. I mean, it's just, he's right there, because a million coins, I mean, you look at a 750k pack at £60, a million coin pack, if there was ever one released, would be what, maybe like £80? I mean, that's the price of, that's nearly the price of the Ultimate Edition for the Game Boys, start of the year. That would also get you, as Jan says, that would buy you a couple of brand new games. It would get you out for a nice meal. You know, there's many things you could do with that, and it's one pack within a game. You know? Also, you gotta look at it, I said this on stream the other day, you gotta look at it from the fact of the coin value, because obviously EA give you the coin alternative opening these packs, which is also a joke. Obviously, for that big pack we're referencing, 750,000 coins. I mean, you look at the structure of FUT Champs, some of yours in this community, some of you boys say you get like 100 to 150k back from your like 18 win rewards. That's what, four weekend leagues roughly of pure grinding and getting a lot of effort to get a high rank in champs to open one of those store packs and probably get shafted. That ain't right. That ain't right, man. Music says they need to fix everything. I agree with that, definitely. Popsicle says I think they should give the community more voice. What I mean by that is they give weekly or monthly choices to the community and they vote what to add to the game. It would be a great addition. As we've discussed in this video, Popsicle, I just don't see, you know, they don't need to do it. If there was a real threat to this game and its future, and EA were losing money, they would need to take action and they would need to do something like this, where they would take community votes, and even if they didn't add everything into the game, it's you know, because we're not expecting that as a community, we're expecting just our voice to be heard. So if EA were to add, say we suggest 3 things and they added one of them, it's a start. It gives us a little bit of faith with them, but that faith's long gone now. We know that, but yeah, they do need to do that, Popsicle, but it's just the reality of the situation, mate, isn't it, that we're in? It's probably never going to happen. Andy says, how would a boycott really work when you have Bateson that he says he won't stop and monopolize everyone else in terms of the amount of FC points he buys daily? He often has 6 to 700k FC points and his channel revolves around opening the store packs. In my opinion, unless everyone big stops, and he's probably the biggest, then this will never work. Inconsistent gameplay in the store are by far the worst parts of this game, which with the money EA receive shouldn't have these issues. Then we get mistakes from this. Then we get mistakes from them, which this year has reached an all-time high. The menu crashes, EA normalizing gambling to kids. I could easily go on, but personally, this wouldn't get fixed overnight if they even decided to. If they want a yearly release, sure, fine. Whatever, but they should do similar to what Ubisoft has done with Assassin's Creed and Activision with COD. Have 3 separate development studios work on the game, so then it's a 3-year cycle, but still coming out yearly. What's your opinion on this? Well, that last part of it, it is an interesting thing you bring up, Andy, with other gaming developers that, you know, that's what they've done, and linking that in with EA. I mean, as we've discussed in this video, I mean, EA would never do that, though, because it's taken away. They wouldn't want other people working on their own game. They'll always want to be at the spearhead of it. You're right about the boycott. I mean, as I say, Bateson, yes, he is one of the well-known ones that does put loads and loads in the game. You always you see his video, and he's got like maybe 1 million FIFA points on his account. And the boycott is tough, and that's what I've said there before we get into the viewer comments, Andy. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the issue, you know. Not just him. Yes, he is obviously a lot, but there's obviously, you know, it's not just YouTubers that are some YouTubers that are putting all these points on. There's obviously people that are addicted to putting points on as well. You know, not non-YouTubers, just, you know, regular people. And yeah, as I said there a few minutes ago, Andy, as long as EA are making their money from these people, it's never going to force a change and make the game better. And that's a sad reality that we're stuck with right now, I guess, mate, isn't it? And then all you mentioned there about the inconsistent gameplay, obviously we've covered that, but yeah, it's menu crashes, yeah, normalizing gambling, yeah, it's such a bad look, but as I say, they're shameless, they don't care. Samek says, I think we all knew EA purposely tampered with the game, adjusting pack odds, always packing the same players and icons in the play epics, giving us nothing but fodder because they want us in the store. Game is so unrewarding. How many times I've sweared to get rank 3 to get nothing, nothing but demotivating. Feels like a chore. Feels like a chore to this game, all about the money for EA, sadly. They don't care about their fan base. Fixing mistakes which benefit the player in a matter of minutes with Team of the Year Messi, and 8 hours for the Mbappe and Belly champs picks. But any compensation we have had in the past takes weeks because they can't be asked. I go on and on. Suck at EA, says Samek. I agree with that. You're right. Your comment there, Samek, that last part of it, That's pretty much what I remember. I said that tweet earlier in the video, boys, that a fellow YouTuber said it on Twitter a few weeks ago. You know, anything that benefits them, they'll take out quickly. Anything that doesn't benefit their money side of things, they don't care about. You know. 4 mistakes in 4 days, says Ice G. Incorrect red picture given out intentionally or meant to be bad. Icon playback released early on the weekend at 6 a.m. had to be removed. Glitched evolution cards randomly becoming 99 rated. 4 server issues, extremely slow or disconnecting the player base. This is what we paid £100 for. Yeah, and do you know what? £100 for the game, Ice G, and then obviously many people have spent more on points and stuff as well, bro. So, yeah, it's crazy, man. It really is. Duke says EFC FIFA is just dead, and to be quite frank, a hotly unqualified mess. EA in general needs to be boycotted, and ultimately in real life football is also unsavable. It's only made worse by toxically sweaty every single champs weekend. Why waste my time like imploding because I grind a 2 to 18 record when I can instead spend time focusing on other interests, i.e. making music. Exactly, man. Like, even for me, I said it earlier in the video, like, obviously as a content creator, I'm trying to fit a load of things into my day as well. You boys know I work 2 jobs. You know, and obviously doing content creation as a part-time thing, it's a 3rd job for me because I make a decent part-time income from this channel as well. Thanks to all you boys that are massively supporting the channel, of course. But you're right, you know, you gotta prioritize some things in life, right? You don't have time to do everything in a day, or in your typical week. And your other interests are like making music, exactly. Like you go for that, Duke, 1,000,000%, mate. Because this game doesn't deserve your time. It doesn't deserve your time. You look at it from 2 ways. I said earlier, like the fundamental thing about a game is meant to be fun. This game isn't fun. So that's first of all. You want to enjoy your free time. You want to be doing something you enjoy. So if FIFA's not doing that for you, you gotta by 1,000,000%, you gotta do something else. And this game ain't fun. It ain't fun. And yeah, you gotta, as I say, spend time focusing on your other hobbies, other interests, mate. That's definitely the best thing to do, man. I mean, for me, I know, like as I said earlier in the video, boys, I started playing a few other games, not on stream, but off stream. Obviously, I've got my 2nd channel, FootyKing TV. There's the shameless plug out of the way. But yeah, check it out. I do my different gaming content on there, playthroughs and stuff. I'm doing Alone in the Dark right now. It's a bit of a horror, a bit of a psychological horror game at the minute I'm doing. So I'm liking it. It's a difference. It's a change from FIFA and the FIFA content, and also, you know, in my free time, I've started playing a few other like playthrough games myself, just to give myself a break from FIFA, man, to balance things out a little bit. And when you play these different games, it really does show the enjoyment factor I get back from these games compared to the enjoyment factor I get back of EA or EFC. It's extremes, you know. It's black and white, man. It's a complete difference. So yeah, do what you enjoy, Duke, 1,000,000%, mate. Brace is loving it. All these content creators who push EA shit can eat a pile of shit. Agreed. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course. But it's just, yeah, we need change. We need change with this game, man. We've all had this cycle for far too long now. We need change. Yeah, that's why, as I say, I'm glad to see that the community is, you know, 95% of the community, I would say, Breeze stepping up, bro. And you boys already know, man. Before I make this, is obviously my official video on it, but even before, like on the streams, I talk about it regularly. I have done for a long time now, man. So yeah, I'm really glad to see people stepping out, and whether it makes change or not, we don't know, but we can only do what we can do. And yeah, I'm glad people are speaking out about this game and showing their true thoughts about it, you know. Linguistic says, among a number of things much worse than I'm about to say, just balance out the cards and don't inflate the game with OP cards. Yeah, and there's obviously, yeah, you could have said a lot more there, mate, definitely, as you say there. But yeah, you make a good point. Like, the balance of the cards is all over the place. Like, the power curve is weird at times. I mean, there's cards out there. I mean, obviously the glitched evos didn't help things as well with 99 rated in the game early, but, you know, you've got cards that just, they're inflated too early. There's also cards then I've mentioned earlier, like in promo teams, that just don't interest anyone anymore, that maybe years ago they would have done because it was more balanced, but now it's because people are, you know, able to get cards super quickly now, because the amount of money and maybe packs are putting on, or certain cards just become uninteresting for a lot of people, man, you know what I mean? The game is inflated at times, so yeah, more balance is definitely needed, bro, for sure. Manx has got to see what's going on, bro. boycottea, especially the store packs. Totally agree with that, man. Yep, say less on that one for sure. That is definitely what we need to see, man, but it's going to take a lot to enforce that change, I think, isn't it? Mutiny says the fact that someone can get like 9 wins, for example, and get an Mbappe, but at the same time someone could get rank 1 and get 3 of the player pick of all time, 3 of the 1 player pick of all time. So they just won't waste their time there to get Lees, Malou, Donnarumma, and other Lala next FIFA. I just hope there's a minimum rating. The higher rank you go, and the Tots pack becomes more worth it up the ranks. We need more guarantees, Mutiny, for the higher ranks. I definitely agree with that, bro. Store packs, the fact that there are £50 and just a gamble for people that doesn't know how to control the money, as well as older people dropping 200 quid a week on this game, maybe more, just so they get a chance of getting a decent card, whilst in reality they're going to end up with a fodder team of the season. Just then becomes a cycle every weekend. Friday, Saturday, it's the same packs, as we mentioned earlier as well. Yeah, it's the same kind of structure with content every week. The store right now is worth close to £800 worth of FIFA points. I didn't even know that. That is mad. That is mad. Which is a fortune, since you can get like a cheap holiday to Spain for the price. You could, yeah. Yeah, it's mad. DG says needs fixing the bug in Ultimate Team, and he needs to fix proper content, release more stuff. This is DG. I think variety is key, isn't it? We mentioned that earlier. Hazis is literally everything. Ultimate Team is just complete AIDS. Is William. They should add more stuff to do such as objectives and evos, and do a complete -10 or so to everyone's starting ratings. Is JK. And Logan says Icon SBCs being more coins of fodder than its price on the market. Yeah, there's a load of things, man. There's a load of things. I mean, big up to all you boys getting involved on the comments of that video. I do appreciate that. Big up to all you boys for getting your comments in, getting your feedback on that community post there, getting involved with the video. I do appreciate that a lot. And yeah, I mean, everyone's spot on there, man. All those comments that I've read, they're all spot on. I mean, we need change in this game, boys. It's going to take a lot to do that. I really do thank each and every single one of you boys for watching today's video. We're all in this together, man. You know, we've got to speak out about this company. I've said this for years. And obviously now I'm glad I'm going to make this video, because there's no point doing this alone, you know. I could have made a video like this last year. And I know other creators could have made a video like this last year, but it takes one of the big guys, like Nick's done this week, so credit to him. He comes out, and then, as I say, there's a lot of other people then are putting their own thoughts and ideas out on the game as well, because it's got to be a united thing, you know. There's no point one creator putting their thoughts in the game and no one else listening. It's got to be a united thing, man. It's like everything in life. If you want to force change in something, it's got to be, you know, you got to be united with people, don't you? So, yeah, I'm glad we've had the week that we have in terms of the kind of spotlight on EA. I say pressure on EA, but they probably don't feel the pressure, do they? We know how shameless this company is, boys, and I just fear for the future of the game, man. That's my honest thoughts. I fear for the future of the game. It just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse. From any element you want to look at it from, whether from the greed element of EA and them just feeding on, you know, packs and not caring about the actual gameplay itself, from the enjoyment element of it, you know, are we going to actually, because a lot of people have already stopped playing this year, because they just don't enjoy the game. And then that's not even mentioning the content stuff, you know, as we mentioned earlier. That's just a complete disaster as well, where it's just a repeated cycle, you know, rinse and repeat, copy and paste job, pretty much weekly. But yeah, I want to know your boys' thoughts, man. Get your comments in the comment section below. I'll be reading and hearting and responding to each and every single comment, by the way, alright, in this video. So, yeah, get your thoughts in on everything we discussed in today's video. Yeah, big thanks for watching. Let's see how this goes, boys. Let's see how this goes, man. But as I say, I stand in solidarity with every other content creator or non-content creator that's standing out for the game right now. You know, posting their thoughts up online and letting people know what they think about this game, man. Because it needed to happen. It now has happened. And, yeah, let's see where we go from here, man. But we deserve better as a community. We definitely do. Thanks for watching.